Hi, I'm back. It's been a few weeks since I did my 3 weeks of Wim Hof, crashed completely, and I've slowly been recovering. And I just wanted to kind of discuss how I've been recovering, what happened with Wim Hof, and how I guess the answer to that is I'm incorporating it still into my life. I've stopped with the cold exposure because I think what was happening was it was doing, I don't know if you've heard about central sensitization at all, but it's like your nervous system can get really wound up, and then when you're exposed to anything that's not comfortable or is painful, it gets like worse and worse and worse and worse. So the cold, I think my body reacted to that as a pain source, and then it started like really just flaring up, especially my skin, which is weird because my skin pain had gone down, but then it kind of came back with a vengeance, and everything hurt. Like I couldn't, like even just shirts, like a t-shirt where it would like brush against your skin, it would hurt me. So what I did was I started again, but I started week 1 on the Wim Hof Fundamentals course, but even earlier than week 1, if that makes any sense. So I did 1 round of breathing. So typically the method is you have your 30 breaths of breathing, and then you exhale, hold, and you hold for 15 seconds, and then you breathe again. You do another round. So what I did was I found I could only get to like 15 breaths before I started getting like feeling panicky, which I typically would push past before, and you'd get like really deep into it. Felt really good. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop when I start feeling a little bit different. So I stopped at 15 and held my breath for whatever's comfortable. For me it's like a minute, but for you it could be 20 seconds or like 10 minutes. I don't know how long people hold their breaths for. Their breaths. Anywho, so I did that for 1 week, and then I felt more comfortable, and my breaths were maybe getting up to 20 where I was comfortable. And then the next week I did 2 rounds, and now this week I've moved up to 3 rounds. And I typically can do 1 round that gets up to 30, and then like around 20 for the other 2. And yeah, it's been good. I'm feeling like the wind up has cooled down. I've given myself a lot of space and a lot of time to heal, rest a lot. You know, there was lots of napping, just endless napping. And it's been good. Sorry, my son's in the back. So yeah, it was lots of napping, lots of just like self-care, which I can do a video about how, like, what I do for self-care as well, if anyone's interested. Yeah, so I've worked up to 3 breaths, and this week I was like, okay, I'll try doing just my hands and put them in cold water for 2 minutes instead of doing the cold showers. And what ended up happening was I put them in for 2 minutes, and I had the central sensitization kind of wind up experience again, where my nervous system just like flipped out. And then it was the entire next day following it, I just was like, my whole skin was on fire and it didn't feel very good. But I was like, you know what, I could just like, I think I can kind of reframe this whole thing where every time I felt like things were on fire, I just was like, you know what, I'm safe. I'm just wound, like, you know, I kept imagining my brain like cooling down and my nervous system just like, every time I breathe in, there'd be like a blue kind of light. Sounds kind of hokey, but I did. And yeah, the next day, so it's like I did it, and then I did a lot of visualizations throughout the day whenever I noticed the pain more. Because if you have constant pain, like, you don't always notice the constant pain, if you know what I mean. You probably do. There's moments when you're like busy doing something else, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm still feeling like poop. Yeah, so I did that, and then it cleared up. So that was good. And then this morning I decided to go for a walk outside, and it was 6 degrees, and I didn't wear mittens. And so far so good. I feel great. So we'll see what happens. Definitely when I did the ice bath, I flared up immediately. So we're gonna just slowly work with my hands, I think, and by next week get up to 4 breaths. I hope to get up to 4 breaths, and I will touch base then, and we can talk about what happens. So all the best, and And yeah,